Hey guys, how's it going? MikeTheTech here. So today I'm going to give you a quick tutorial or addition to our tutorial for our GameMaker Studio 2 top-down shooter. The idea for this part of the tutorial actually came from a comment SilarZ26 posted saying, just wondering how I could put the power up on a timer so that after 10 seconds it would go back to normal. And I responded, you could use an alarm. And I'd like to make a video showing how to do that. So if we look at our current game, or visualize where we're currently at, we recently set up cooldowns for shooting, and when we shoot, it comes out, the lasers come out at an interval, and then when we get the power up, there's a double laser. Now we're trying to get this to go away after 10 seconds. So we're going to set up an alarm. So we'll open up our objects, we'll open up object player, and we have our object power up here. And this is where once we run into the power up, we assign a variable and change current weapon to 1. So we want after 10 seconds to change the current weapon back to 0. So we're going to add an event, and we're going to create an alarm. We'll go to alarm 0. Because it doesn't start at 1, it starts at 0, but it is what it is. And in this event, we're going to do something very similar to this. We can actually copy this. Or actually, I'll recreate it. We'll go into alarm, we'll drag a assign variable into it, and then we're going to use current underscore weapon. And we're going to say -1 relative to whatever it's at. So if it's at laser level 1, or actually no, let's just make it so that no matter what kind of laser you have, it always goes back to 0. You could change this to -1 and put relative to itself. That way, if it has like multiple layers of lasers, you could say if it's at level 7, move it down to level 6, and then from 6 down to 5, and slowly progress your way down. But we're not that, we don't have that many differences, so we're just going to jump directly to 0 after 10 seconds. But we haven't actually told this timer to go off. So we'll go into the create event, and this isn't a necessary step, but it's a step that I'd like to show you anyway. Let's look for a timer. Okay, so we can set an alarm countdown. And we can say countdown -1. And what this will actually do is make sure that that alarm never goes off. In code, you would say alarm 0 is equal to -1. And that basically means that it's already past its countdown and it's not going to happen. We don't need this. It's just something that is good to know for when you start coding with it, in case you want to stop an alarm from happening. Like if there's a way that they can stop that from removing their laser and make it permanent, then you would set it to -1, and that would stop the alarm from happening. But we can ignore that. We don't need that for now. We have our alarm that's going to set it to 0, and we just need to make sure that that alarm goes off. So we're actually going to drag an alarm, and we're going to set the alarm countdown. So now we have our current weapon is equal to 1. Right when you run into it, it changes it to 1, and then it starts our alarm for alarm 0. And this countdown will be 30. Now this might seem like it would work for 30 seconds, but it's not quite like that. So we'll test this and we'll work it out from there. The way alarms are set up, and I believe that the way they're still set up, is by frames rather than seconds. So 30 frames would actually be like half a second in our game, since we're at 60 frames a second, and it would probably make it go away very quickly. Yep, it just half a second and it went away very quickly. We could say, so 60 frames would equal 1 second, then do the math and say multiply all that. But we actually don't have to do that. We can make a dynamic timer or use functions to actually figure out our room speed. We can type room underscore speed, right? And then multiply that by 10 seconds. Okay, so what this is our room speed is equal to 60, and if you times that by 10, it would equal 600. So 600 frames later, or 10 seconds exactly later, the laser power up will go away, or it'll change back to 0. So let's actually make sure that that works. Should take about 10 seconds to do since we set it to that. Hopefully it works all right. So we're shooting, run into it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and yep, it changed back to single bullet mode. So as you can see, alarms are very dynamic. They're very similar to the cooldowns we created using variables, and could actually substitute our cooldown functions. If you watch a lot of my videos, you'll notice I really like variables, but alarms are great as well. And if you use that room speed trick, it's really easy to work with them because you can visualize in seconds and code in seconds versus frames, which can be a little confusing. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and thanks for watching. Peace.